Okay, thanks for coming. We're going to do a class review. Corinne's going to be our recorder. I'm going to be the facilitator. Marcy is the classroom teacher. And Misty is our EA. So this is a collaborative process, and we're basically going over Marcy's grade 2-3 class, and we're focusing on strengths, and we're just going to put our brains together and Misty.
Remind me to show you guys this.
And just make sure everyone has their phone on airplane mode for this meeting, please. And so basically we're going to go over these 4 questions, and then we're going to make some decisions and goals. And so the first question is focusing on the class, and we're going to look at what are the strengths of the class. What are the positive things about this group as a whole? So go ahead, Marcy.
Well, they're a really nice little class. They're mostly good friends. I don't feel like there are a lot of behavior problems in there. There's no behavior problem that really disrupts the group. They're really interested in making books and writing books, and well on their way to being literate. I think all of them are enjoying literacy. I feel like there's a lot of family support there. I think the school has pretty good relations with most of the families. They really like to write. They're really interested in listening to good stories. I feel like all the foundation's there.
Great. Misty, we need you to be present because we're gonna.
Oh, sorry.
We're gonna need your perspective.
Sorry,
You
sorry.
know these kids quite well.
Okay. I agree with what Marcy said for sure. Okay.
So what are your concerns about the class as a whole?
Well, I think I'm a little bit concerned about the language development and lack of vocabulary for 3 or 4 of them. So that's a significant number in a small class. So I think we need a lot of, even though I said they're well on their way to becoming literate, I think they do need lots of language enrichment. There's some of them that I know are struggling with attention. They're managing it best they can so far, but I am concerned that there are
Misty, that's distracting, and we're trying to focus on our class.
Okay,
review.
sorry.
So we think we need to as a whole, I guess we need to work on, as a whole, accepting all those different learning styles, and yet helping those kids that struggle with their attention and staying focused and work together as a whole. I wouldn't want to start to lose that sort of friendly, supportive base that they have.
Okay. What are their needs? So then what do you wonder about?
I wonder, I guess, about, how to best enrich that vocabulary for the ones where I feel like it's really low, and whether I can address that in the whole class setting, or whether those, sort of the potential of those kids.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else right now.
Okay, no, that's great. So then what are your main goals this year as a class? They may be based on strengths, or the concerns or stretches and needs, or an area of interest to you, or the students, or curriculum. And so you can come up with 3 or 4 if you like.
Well, I think since they all are at least sort of emergent writers, I think I think they can all learn to write good sentences, correctly formed, and expand on them. So just the basics of good sentences. I feel like that's a goal that they can all reach. I'd also like to. They're a small group and they're curious and well behaved, so I'd really like to have them be able to follow their own wonder questions. So, they have a lot of questions, and I'd like to be able to help them pursue those and talk about them.
Okay. So, focusing on writing and wonder.
And their wonders, yeah.
So maybe like project based.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like them to just have some group projects, and I'd like to figure out how to help them follow their individual wonders as well as group projects.
Mm-hmm.
And main goals. I like them to really become comfortable with alternative strategies for solving addition and subtraction questions. So the basic facts and bigger numbers using a variety of strategies.
Okay, great. So now we're going to go on to individual needs, and then after Marcy speaks about each student, we'll have a chance to talk about, add anything we think of, or if we have a different perspective, or some suggestions, and then we'll go on to making some goals and decisions from the meeting. So we'll just go through each student. What are the individual needs? Focusing on medical, learning, social, emotional, language, or are they related to each individual student in your classroom? So should we start with Joseph?
Sure. So Joseph, appears to be he's a good reader, and he's writing. I don't have a lot of concerns about him, although he's one that I want to make sure he's not sort of staying under my radar, because he's just sort of, he appears to be, so well behaving that I just want to make sure that he keeps progressing with his reading.
I don't know if he's well behaved.
Oh,
I don't know about that.
Remember, Missy, so Marcy's going to speak first, and then you
Oh,
get to
okay,
share.
okay.
You get to share your
Thank you.
ideas.
Sorry.
So that's what I'm seeing in the class. Okay. Should we move on now?
Yeah, let's hear about
So Talon is not reading yet. He has a lot of background knowledge. I can tell his parents and his family talk to him about a lot of, his mom's interested in science and Haida history. He gets a lot of that rich language at home, but he's not reading yet. He's restless, and he's fairly
Well, and we
impulsive.
told, his parents that last year, and they should have been on board with us.
Well, this class review is focusing on strengths, and so we're going to think about his strengths, and then we're going to talk about his needs. And just remember, Marcy's speaking first.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I think all the, he's obviously a really bright boy, a real thinker, has advanced language, so, we want to figure out, I think what we should do is make, a real sort of intense push with him, lots of reading, and check in pretty frequently and see if he needs something that's quite different from that.
Okay.
Taimiko, in grade 3, so she's one of the 2 grade 3s, she just needed more time in a primary program. She's fairly distractible, very motivated, very interested, but in spite of her best efforts, it's really hard for her to pay attention. You can tell she's really trying. Her reading is coming along, and I just hope it continues to improve. I think attention is a real organic issue for Taimiko. I think it's really hard for her, and her mom is really, really worried about her and has been. So, so Ainsley, again, a student that comes from a family that talks a lot. She's doing all kinds of interesting activities and projects. She is a real thinker too, loves to read and write, but it's hard for her. It's just not coming easily. There are still lots of reversals in words that are really difficult for me to read. So we want to watch her that it's not coming easily, and yet everything's in place there, I think. Cameron, another great kid, having a lot of articulation problems, sounds that aren't there yet in grade 2 of ours, which is affecting her spelling. So that's something to talk to our SLP about. Marley, a little bit restless, but her reading's coming along. I want to watch her comprehension and make sure that she's understanding what she's reading. Really energetic, mostly positive little girl, and some restlessness. Eva, she's a really cooperative, obliging, but she really struggles, I think, with language. A lot of things that she doesn't understand. It's hard for her to formulate a sentence in her head and then get it written down, so she gets very limited writing done. Her reading fluctuates wildly from a real, very emergent level to being able to read, close to an early grade 2 level. And and she approaches every word as a brand new word, sounding out every sound. Hannah is new to our school. She is just a beginning reader, being raised by her grandparents. Really pleasant little girl. She's got to establish new friendships here and find her place in this group and have them get to know her. Emergent reader at this point.
When is this done?
Well, we have about 20 more minutes, and just remember this is a collaborative
Okay, it's
group.
just taking a long time.
Okay, Emma's a really strong reader, strong writer, a little bit shy, but very interested, very engaged. Lots of background experiences that are helping her. I have no concerns about Emma. Math is exceeding what we're at, so I have no concerns about her. Summer, I have real concerns about. Grade 2, her language is still more characteristic of a preschool. There are lots of tenses and pronouns that are confused and reversed. So it's really affecting her writing, her oral communication, her understanding of almost everything we do, and her ability to contribute. Has a hard time with math, and I think it's language related. So she'll be one that I want to follow up with her SLP. LeBron, really strong in all academic areas. He's becoming more comfortable socially with all the give and take on the playground, learning how to play with kids. He has a lot of anxiety, and I think that plays into his social interactions.
Steve, would you like to come? Should we reschedule this? Are you feeling so distracted that you can't be present for this? We really,
No, it's okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
I'll pay attention. Sorry.
Okay. Kyra's another one that she has difficulty with attention and staying focused. Her reading, she's a little bit stronger than Eva with her reading, but gaining her attention and her ability to sustain focus on almost any activity is pretty limited. She needs a lot of attention. Starts out in the morning usually with some kind of a complaint that she needs some one-to-one attention for, and then she's able to get past that. But during the day, they're frequently needing some attention about some personal issue. And I think her home has aunts and uncles and cousins. They're sometimes there, sometimes not. Dad and mom's relationship seems to be, I'm not sure about it, and she lives with the grandparents. So there are a few different families inhabiting in the house, coming and going at different times in the year. And I also wonder about her sort of self-awareness, of her space on the table or in groups. She's not able, she moves it to do everything so slowly that I'm not sure that she's really aware of what she should be doing and taking initiative to get those things done. Claire is a pretty solid student on all fronts. She's a strong reader, writer, does well in math, is anxious to please, seems to get along well with her friends, and is interested in things and contributes to our class discussions. That could be maybe encouraged a little bit more. Trace, really active, interested, curious little guy, not reading yet and not writing yet. Pretty strong in math, and his mom started off the year, sort of letting me know that she felt he wasn't reading yet and wanted to help him out. But in the very emergent books, he's sounding out it's just the three-letter words. So,
Okay.
is that kind of what you wanted?
Yeah, that's great. That gives us a lot of information. So we can make some. Do you have anything you want to add?
No,
What are
I,
those kids?
no, I think that, yeah, I agree with everything that Marcy said. Yeah.
Okay.
And sorry for not paying attention earlier.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Thanks for doing it now. So we'll go on to make some decisions. From listening to what you were saying, it sounds like we could work with Garth
Mm-hmm.
and utilize his speech and language skills and knowledge, and perhaps maybe an OT. Do you think that would be?
I think that might be.
Cara?
I think so. Maybe, yeah, I hadn't thought about that before, but I think maybe in terms of her just awareness.
Yeah, so we'll make some decisions now on what we want. You want to focus on writing. And how can we foster that in your class? How can we support you? How can Misty and I?
Well,
Maureen.
I think with I think maybe the idea of modeling sentences in terms of writing. They're all interested in writing great long stories, but now I think it's time to refine that. So probably a large percentage of them will understand, if I do some model sentences and we work on it together. But then the kids that have the attentions with probably working memory and some language and attention, they're not going to get it out of a class lesson. So I think we might need to have some individual help to follow up on this.
So, how do you think you can help support the writing lessons in the class for those kids that are struggling with attention?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry that I wasn't paying too much attention. I'm willing to really pay attention to your lesson that you're teaching, and then maybe take them out one-on-one and do the work with them. You can just let me know which kids you feel need it the most, and maybe we could use a little bit of time during the week out of that lift fund and spend half an hour a day on whatever day you choose,
Yeah,
and just get together and just talk. Sometimes it's a bit hard without having that little bit of extra time with the teacher.
Yeah, to check in
Yeah,
and work
yeah.
on like collaboration and
Yeah.
communication.
Yeah.
And working as a team, because that's really important to be able to check in
For sure.
and support each other. And so the next goal was around project-based learning, and I can come into your class. It's nice that you have such a small class, so I can come in and when you're working on their wonder questions to kind of help focus those kids and work on vocabulary around whatever
Okay.
they're
And kind of
interested
tailor
in.
it to their
Yeah.
reading and writing as well.
And again, we'll probably need time. Well, any project-based learning project or activity requires lots of planning time and reflecting and reviewing, right? So we'll need some time, or you will need some time to really.
So you're going to come in while we're working on that, so small groups of kids can get some support.
Yeah.
And then we'll have some time every week or a couple weeks or something to check in and see where we can go next, or if we're done with the idea.
Right, and then the last goal you talked about was math strategy.
Right.
And there are a few teachers who are interested in working on math instruction, supporting students. So So I think perhaps we could talk as a group and plan some Pro D around math strategies, alternative math strategies, and really focusing on numeracy as a whole.
I think that's a good idea. So we're all kind of, getting the certain skills.
Yeah.
And so, sorry to interrupt, if EAs can come to that too.
Yeah, of course.
That would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
beneficial.
Yeah. So the next step would be we'll check in partway through the year. So I'll send an email out and we can start planning for that. Just to think ahead that we will be meeting again to go over the class review and see how it's going. The other thing is that we'll talk about individual students.
At our next meeting.
Yeah. Or during school-based
Okay.
team meetings if you have concerns. I know as you went through the list, we definitely had some concerns, and then there are also the IEPs. So, yeah. Any
Okay.
questions or comments?
No,